Hi everyone, it's millionaire Mark James Weber with another YouTube video. You know, you've probably heard of and watched the show Survivor a bunch of times, like millions and millions and millions of other people already have. And to be honest, there is this one season of Survivor which you guys might or might not agree with me on this. But hear me out. I think that Survivor Season 38, Edge of Extinction, is possibly the worst season of Survivor ever, in my opinion. And I'm not talking about the fact that Chris Underwood won, because honestly, I'll be honest with you, even though a lot of people hate Chris Underwood, and I understand why, I actually like Chris Underwood and I'm happy he won. But that's not the reason I'm going to go into the season about how it's the worst season ever. The reason I think is Survivor 38 Edge of Extinction might or might not be the worst season of Survivor US franchise is just because of how the whole premise went down. We've had two people in that season, both Keith and Wendy, having to quit that season. I was never a big Keith fan anyways. Wendy was my favorite. I didn't mind her quitting. But I know other people are not fans of quitters. I don't mind them. But the thing is, it kind of made for a low budget season. Even though I support quitters 100%, I know that other fans of the shows do not, because they think it quote unquote wastes a spot. But that's not the main reason for Chris Underwood winning despite being voted out originally, or Keith and Wendy quitting, or the overall gameplay of an unlikable cast like Rick Devens and Ron and Julie and all those people. What I'm going to go down to is the biggest controversy of the season there was. And that person's name was Joe Anglin. Someone who pretty much got a hero's edit as like the hero of all three seasons of Survivor. And believe me, he was actually well liked on Survivor as well as social media, until he did something on social media that was so foul and disgusting, it led me even disgusted as a viewer. One, not only was he racist to Julia on Survivor Edge of Extinction, Season 38, but he also is a huge MAGA Trump supporter, is a big fan of the thing called Canon, or Canon, however you spell it, QANON, which is a terrorist group that likes to be like all racial. It's like a Ku Klux Klan group. And Joe Anglin has no problem supporting that group and has no shame at all for it. Plus, I've also heard that the editing on Survivor, it was never shown on TV. It was done during the live feeds where it was quote unquote unedited. It was never shown on TV. But during the show where it films 39 days, and they only show like an hour show of each episode, which makes like what, 14 hours a day worth of a whole show, or half a day, instead of the whole 39-day clips. What happened was Joe Anglin had said many slurs to Julia from Survivor 38. Basically said like the N-word a bunch of times. Something I'd be very appalled with. Why didn't he even get kicked off the show? Like, producers, why are you doing letting a racist tyrant like him be on the show? and not expel him for all the bad, horrible things he did on TV. Not even on TV, but it was not shown on TV. But he did them on Survivor 38 anyways, with the show of him being racist not airing. Made him look like he was the hero of the show that everyone was trying to get out because of his challenge wrestling. Buster. You are not the hero. Goodbye. And then we forget to mention the fact that he was also on 2 other seasons of Survivor. Survivor 31, which is Second Chance. He actually was a hero then. There's no conspiracy of him doing anything on the live feeds or anything behind the scenes. Same with season 30. He was a hero. It was season 38 that he got all the hate. And for good reason, too. But yeah, you could argue Chris Underwood winning was just very disappointing. Keith and Wendy quitting on Edge of Extinction. The Edge of Extinction shouldn't have even existed in the first place, because I think just the whole premise of 2 people returning, one at the merge and one at the end of the game, is just stupid anyways. Why don't they just do Redemption Island like they usually do it? But instead, you are on an island and you only have 1 chance out of 8 people to return the first time, and then the second time or whatever. Anyways, I got pretty much nothing else to say other than season 38 was a terrible, terrible season. If you guys agree with me, I can respect that. If you guys don't agree with me, I can respect that too. But in my opinion, I do think, honestly, 38 was the worst season of Survivor in the history of USA Survivor. Now, maybe there might be another edited show where they make someone out to look like a hero when they were actually the bad guy. I don't know. It's happened a bunch of times on Big Brother. With Frankie Grande and JC. 2 players who I actually like, by the way, because I don't think they would be as bad as Joe Anglin. But still, it doesn't excuse the fact that Joe was horribly racist and he didn't even get ejected. Like, what the heck? But anyways, if you like my videos, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below. If you have any thoughts, agreements, or disagreements, you can always post them. I'm not going to be ashamed to have any disagreements. I'll always respect your opinions, just as long as you do mine. And this is going on YouTube. As for Daily Motion, I go by Mark James Weber 1996, aka Mark James Weber. Remember to follow me on Daily Motion. Leave a like, give a boost of 100 likes, and comment down below. But this is YouTube I'm posting this on. It'll be my, 41st video, I think. And yeah, just remember to subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below if possible. That's it. That's all there is to it. Bye.